Okay. Hi. Hello. I know I'm early and I'm sorry, but this is what's coming my way. And so I wanted to be able to get on here before that blows all the internet. I'm going to try and do this quick. If you catch me, great. If you don't, I'm sorry. But I am pretty sure that is going to cause a problem with having the internet and my ability to safely keep my computer plugged in without that. Central Florida, if you were not aware, is the lightning capital of the world. So last night or the night before, we had 22,000 lightning strikes in a single storm cell that came through. So there is a real danger with lightning here. So if you are, please forgive me for jumping on early. There is a major rainstorm, thunderstorm, lightning storm with warnings and all kinds of fun stuff that is heading my way. So I just wanted to try and get on and see you all before all of that went away. So just a couple of things. So that's why I'm early, major thunder and lightning. If the power goes out, that's why. The podcast is up, Beyond the Loss. It is up on every streaming platform that you can imagine. So Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Pandora. You can go and find my webpage for the podcast is on mindbodyspiritfm.com. The first episode is up and the feedback has been fantastic. I'm so grateful. I'm so honored. The second episode is coming on Wednesday, so don't miss it. Make sure you are checking that out. I'm so excited to have this interview with Sarah Baldwin, who is the CEO of restfullycare.com, and I'll be putting up some promotional videos about that later today and tomorrow as well. So really excited about that. Here comes the rain. Some of you know I have a big window above this is window, and it's a big window, and I can see the trees and I can hear the rain is coming. So I want to share with you something that I think is really important. I do follow Yasmin Boland, who is the creator of Moonology, and she is a really amazing astrologer. And one of the things that she was talking about is how there is a great realignment going on in the world right now, that all of the giant major planets have moved into new phases, new astrological signs. And I think that is something really, really interesting. So there is a lot of shifting going on in our world right now. And it is, there is a lot of unrest in energy that a lot of you have mentioned to me. But Mars has been in retrograde, and it is, I think it is staying there for a little bit more time, but that there is so much more going on right now with the planets. There has never been a time in the world that we live in as this generation of humans, or this cycle of humans, that has had all of these major planets shifting. So Jupiter has moved into Leo, Saturn moved, Uranus moved, Mars and Venus. So all of these the big planets, the main planets, not Pluto. We love Pluto, but not Pluto. But all of the big movers and shakers of planets have now moved into a new astrological sign. And the orbits for the planets are so big that, so if you recall, a few months ago, maybe a year or so ago, Pluto moved into a new astrological sign. And it was the first time that Pluto had moved into a new astrological sign in 185 years. So the planets move slowly. They do their orbits, we do our orbits, but the planets don't move into new astrological signs very much. The smaller ones, perhaps, but the ones that carry a lot of weight and energy. So all the big movers and shakers right now are moving and shaking. So if you have been feeling pulled in a new direction, called to a new purpose, to making choices about where you live, how you live, what your job is, what your relationship is, if you've been feeling like you need to make some big changes or there's things that are pulling at you, this is why. And if you're joining me live, you are not late. I'm early because there is a major, major rainstorm coming, and I wanted to make sure I could get to you before all the thunder and the lightning, and if we lose power, because that is a possibility. So I just want you to understand that if you have been feeling like for me, it's not a coincidence that the new podcast is, or that the original podcast went up in this recent period of time, like in the last year, and that the new podcast is coming up, is launching now. So it is, if you see me, I'm looking at the rain out the window above me. So there's a lot of new things. And so the thing I want to remind you of is that new things are not necessarily bad, right? So we are still in Mercury retrograde, right? For another week, technically. And then we have the 2 weeks of the after effect, right? So there's so much that is going on energetically right now that it's important that we are not getting ourselves all freaked out about being like, oh my gosh, change. And that is possible for change to be really, really good. Everything happens for some sort of a purpose that we may not understand in the time that we heard it, right? Or the time that it happened. I try real hard not to bring politics into our conversations, but if you follow me, you probably know where I land on a lot of that stuff. And I saw something this morning after the passing of Lindsey Graham that Stephen Colbert is from South Carolina and he doesn't have a job, and that just gave me such a giggle because it was the perfect example of change can be good. And when we think about Stephen Colbert's show going off the air, it's for people who love him, it was a devastating loss to have his voice not be part of our political landscape and just part of our humor landscape. And now here he is. I know he's working on other projects, and I don't really expect him to run for Senate, but just the idea of it gave me a giggle because it was a perfect example of allowing a change that seems negative in the moment to become something positive in the, as we move a little further down the road. And again, if you're joining me and you're like, why is she so early? There is a major thunder and lightning storm happening outside my window. And I just wanted to make sure I could get some cards to you all before I lose power. So, because it's been happening kind of a lot lately. So hi, Brad. Hi. So, yes. So if you're not late, I'm early, and please don't panic. But you'll be able to go back and watch the beginning of the stream, and that's why I'm talking so fast today. I just, like I said, there's a major, major storm coming, and I really want to make sure that that I could get with you all today before our internet goes out, or there's so many lightning strikes that I have to unplug my computer because that's what we do. So when the weather gets so bad, because we are the lightning capital of the world. So we will get so many lightning strikes that I will have to unplug my computer. Now, that doesn't mean I lose internet, but just in case if I disappear very quickly, this is why. Major thunder and lightning. So hello, Brenda, hello, Nancy, hello. You're not late. I'm early. All right. We're not going to keep saying it. I'm early. Thunder, lightning, very, very frightening. All right. So major planetary shifts that are going on right now. So if you've been feeling these changes in your world, like I know Brenda had a major, major change in her world, and it felt like something like, oh, this is really bad, except I think we're already seeing how it's going to be a blessing. And so this is what is happening in the universe. There's something that happens that we talk about go before it's too late. When all of these planets, for the first time in our history, that humans that are alive on the planet right now, this is the first time in the world that all of these major planets have moved into another astrological sign. It's like the entire zodiac went right, and we've all moved into a new place, and it is causing this energetic upheaval is not the right word, but it is kind of like, your martini got shaken, not stirred. And it's not a bad thing. So I really want to just keep reminding you of that change is not always a bad thing. When we feel change, we get very nervous. It's human nature that we're just like, oh, and it's not a bad thing, right? So allow yourself that space to say, well, I wonder what the universe has in store for me with this. Because sometimes there's like crazy stuff going on. And I think to myself, I wonder what the heck you all are doing up there. And I hope you'll explain it to me soon, right? Because that's sometimes how it feels. Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm glad. Maria says, I needed to hear this. Thank you. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. So this really, it is as if the cosmic clock just went, or the cosmic astrological wheel just went, right? And so if you're feeling led, pushed to move in a new direction, push to let go of things, take on new things, shift your direction, shift your focus, allow for that. Now, I'm not saying quit your job, sell your house unless that's what you want to do. But I am saying give yourself the opportunity to say, what is this about? Without a panic, okay? Because when we're like, what is this about? We cut off the flow of the energy and the universe goes, oh, she's not ready. Everybody just press pause. We just press pause. My husband and I do this at my house. He goes pause. Everybody just goes pause, right? And all of our angels and our guides and our loved ones and our higher guidance and all this is just like, she's not ready. But when we go, well, I wonder what this is about. Like, what are you all doing? Show me more. The universe is like, oh, okay, well, we're getting a little listening. Somebody's paying a little attention. We're like, well, let's drop in this opportunity and let's drop in that new person in their life that could maybe lead them to another next thing that happens, right? And so I don't know about you all, but for me, I feel like I have just been popcorn in my brain, right? With ideas for the podcast, ideas for the blog posts, ideas for classes I want to teach. My brain has just been going, I can't keep up right now. And, not a bad place to be. So this is where we have things like a list. Okay. So make a list if you are, because I want to make sure you understand there's no pressure. There is no pressure. We put this pressure on ourselves. So we go, oh my God, I got so many ideas. I have to get rid. I got to do it all right this second. Right. And the universe is going, no. We just want you to understand you have options. We just want you to understand this is a fertile, productive, creative, manifestive time for you, so you can have all these ideas and all these impulses and inclinations in order to say, what an amazing buffet has been laid out in front of me, and how can I partake of this marvelous situation? There is no pressure on us other than what we put on ourselves. So if you are popping right now with ideas and thoughts and wishes and goals and whatnots, write them all down, first of all. And let's start looking at what is in front of you and what is possible. Now, if y'all have been following me, you know that not that long ago, barely a month ago, my husband and I returned from our amazing, a little bit more than a month ago, from our amazing trip, 30 days for our 30th wedding anniversary. And we went all over amazing places and had this incredible trip. But somebody said to me, oh, that's a trip that somebody like me can only dream about. And I thought, that's probably the thought for a lot of people. And notice how I didn't say that's true for a lot of people. That's probably the thought for a lot of people. And I thought to myself, and I spoke to the person who said it, and I said, well, what kind of a trip do you dream about? And so they told me, and I said, well, what would stop you from creating that opportunity? Nothing. So, well, have you thought about it at all? No. Have you made any kind of plan? Have you done any research into looking into it to seeing what might be possible? No. So here's the thing. When my husband we booked the second, we took 2 cruises and then another week in Italy. We booked the second cruise first. Okay, because we were going to get on in Barcelona. We were going to do the cruise around the boot of Italy and spend another week in Italy. That was the original plan. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but I don't like to fly internationally. And the flights were ridiculously expensive, at which point he said, I wonder what else is possible here. I wonder where the ship is before we get on it. And didn't you know that the ship was here in Central Florida at Cape Canaveral? Okay, so by asking the question, I wonder what is possible, we got another 15-day cruise for the price, less than the price of 2 tickets to fly round trip to Barcelona or to, round trip on the trip and 5 more ports. Okay. So for less than that price. And then the flight home was on airline miles, so it was free. Because he asked, what is it that you would want to create in this period of time where the energy is going like popcorn of creativity and manifestation? So this is an important time. And you don't have to make decisions right now, okay? Because we know it's not always the best idea to make big decisions during Mercury retrograde, okay? It happens, we do stuff. But, my son's buying a house in Mercury retrograde. And, okay, it's going along smoothly. And, and he doesn't buy into all this stuff, which is great. That for him, it works. And for me, I just keep asking for protection and I keep seeing that they are doing that. All of these things that are popping, and that's what's popping for him. All these things that are popping and hopping for you right now, write it down. Get yourself a piece of paper, a notebook, of something, and just write it all down and give yourself permission to flow. Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to say, what if? No judging. No judging. This is the thing, to not cut yourself off to say, oh, I could never do that. Just plop it on a piece of paper. There is no harm in that. And there's no requirement for you to go forward with it. Because again, the pressure that we put is the pressure we put on ourselves. And so allow yourself the possibility to say, well, of these things, which one really am I drawn to? Which one is really pulling at me? Which thing is really grabbing my attention? Every time I look at this list, my eyes are drawn to that. And maybe spend some time with one of my favorite questions. How can I create this with the universe? How can I co-create this with the universe? How can I bring this into my life in co-creation with the universe? We don't have to do it alone. And there is no timeline. Those timelines are the things we put on ourselves. Now, I'm not talking about if you have a job and a deadline or homework to turn in or things like that. I'm talking about your wishes, your dreams, your desires, your goals. Because right now, this is a time where the universe is saying, it's like those doors. If you ever saw like a movie when they like Indiana Jones or something, and they had to like put the thing in the right keyhole, and then you put the piece in the missing spot, and then it goes like the Hogwarts wall to get into Diagon Alley, and everything moves, and all of a sudden new possibilities are in front of us. That's where we are right now. And so allow yourself for the possibilities. You don't have to anything, but give yourself the space to say, well, what could be possible here? Because if you're sitting there thinking, oh, a trip like that is something I would only dream about, or I could only dream about, start taking a bite of what that might look like. Mary Kay would always say, you don't have to eat the elephant one bite. The way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So give yourself the space to figure out what your dream is. And then how do you start taking a bite? All right, let me get some cards going because here it's coming. All right. So this is hilarious because, I like to talk to you first. I like to let them channel through me to get the information out of whatever it is that's coming from the universe that wants to be shared before we pull cards, because, I believe that the cards are little eavesdroppers. And so when I pull the cards, there's always some confirmation in those cards for us. And so this is the surrender card. And so today I grabbed the Denise Lynn soul coaching cards because that felt right to me. And this is card 48. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12, 1, 2, 3 is 3. That is more to the story. We know there's more to the story because this surrender card comes in upside down. Okay. So this is telling us right now, just write it down. Let it go. Allow yourself to turn the card right side up. Allow yourself to surrender. Allow yourself to say, what if? Dream it. What? I don't know. I'm just going to write it down because Sherry told me to. Just write it down. Because then you can start looking at it, right? When we keep it all locked up in our brain, we're not giving ourselves permission to let any energy or light get to that dream. Write it down and give yourself permission to surrender the stuff that's really going on in your heart. You don't have to show it to anybody. You don't have to judge it. Nobody's going to say, well, aren't you getting going? No, just give yourself permission to take the first step. So what else do we need to know about this major shift in the energy right now? And this is compassion, but it also comes in upside down. Now, this is perfect because when we refuse to surrender, we refuse to put oh, I could never do that. That's judging. And that is not having compassion for ourselves. Okay. So we say, all right, I'm just going to do it. Whatever that crazy lady on the screen said for me to do it. So I'm not crazy. And to be able to say, neither are you, to be able to say, I'm having compassion for myself and I'm having compassion for what's in my heart. I'm having compassion for what's in my head. I'm having compassion for my higher guidance that says, what else is possible for me? Because we so often get ourselves stuck and stop and we say, well, this is as far as I can go. I have a job, I have a mortgage, I have kids, I have whatever it is. And this is the box that I'm allowing myself to live in right now. And the universe is going, wait a minute, surrender to us. Let's open the box. And we have compassion on ourselves because, again, this card comes in upside down. It says you are not being nice to yourself or as nice to yourself as you could be, because part of that is saying, I am going to allow this to flow. Oh, whacked myself right in the head. I'm going to allow myself to flow without judgment. That is having compassion. When we say, oh, could never do that. What a dumb idea. We are not being compassionate to ourselves. Write it down and look at it and say, wow, that's a really cool idea. My brain came up with, my heart and my soul came up with. I'm having compassion for myself because I'm really smart. I'm really wonderful. I have great ideas. My soul has great ideas and I'm going to pay attention. Having compassion, not judgment. This is the opposite of judgment. And this card number is, shut up. This card number is 12, which means it's 3. Okay. So we've seen it twice now, 3 and 3. Shut up. Okay. All right. Where are the speed bumps? Where are the things? And if you are just joining, you are not late. I am early because there's a major rainstorm coming, major thunder and lightning, and our home is right in the path. And I really wanted to try and get on before it got too yucky out there and we had to unplug the computers. So, all right, what is the thing that, where is the speed bump? Where is the hiccup? So please go back and watch the recording, right? If you're coming in late, you're not late. I'm early and I'm sorry. But make sure, so where are the speed bumps? What else do we need to know about this time that we're in? And this is the courage card, which of course is also upside down, right? Because it's going to take some courage to allow ourselves to hear our higher guidance, to hear our heart, to hear our mind, not the brain, the mind, to allow ourselves to hear. Okay. It takes courage to allow ourselves to hear. And so this is, oh, I love this. The card number for this one is 13. So we saw that 3. We've seen that 3 times now. We've seen this 3. And now here the card number is 13, which is 4. 1 and 3 is 4. And 4 we know is 4 legs of the chair or the table. We know we are, being supported. We are being lifted. We are being guided, carried. We are not on the path alone. And so it is okay for us to have courage. Okay. Take the leap, take the step. Now it looks like he's in choppy seas, but look right in front of him. There's lightning. I love that because there's no irony there. But the lightning is saying, follow us. Come this way. Because the lightning doesn't come from the sky to the ground. The lightning comes from the ground to the sky. Okay. We get the energetic charge that comes from the sky that comes to the ground, and the lightning follows it back up. When we look at lightning, we think of lightning all the time as a thing that, bam, hit the ground. But the truth is that lightning, the light that we see comes up from the ground. So it says, follow me to the light, follow me. And you can see that there's going to be this division between the light sky and the dark sky. Okay. Follow the lightning. I mean, I think that's hilarious that this is a lightning card when we are having a major lightning storm. So, okay. For us, all 3 cards came in upside down. All 3 cards had 3s in them. And then we have the 4. Okay. So this is surrendering, allowing yourself to let that stream of consciousness flow out of you in some fashion to really get some clarity about what it is that you truly want. Okay. One of the things I talk with clients about all the time is, what do you want? They go, I don't know. Well, it's really hard to get it. So give yourself the opportunity to download what is going on in your brain. And if you are really confused and you are not sure about what or how or any of those things, please do go visit my website and go check out the class, the Unspooling Your DNA class. It is an hour. It is on YouTube. It is not an expensive class. It is not complicated. And it breaks down so much about our power to manifest in co-creation with the universe. That is the point of the class. Okay. All right. Having compassion for ourselves, which means we're not judging ourselves. We're not going, well, that's stupid. We're saying, wow, what a great idea. Your heart, your mind, your soul, your higher guidance, allow. And then having the courage. Then remembering, there's no timeline. We talked about this in the beginning. There's no timeline. There's nothing that says once you write it on the paper, you have to act on it. The goal of writing it on the paper is, and if you want to do it electronically, great, whatever. But I like the idea of putting it on paper because it's your handwriting, it's tactile, and your energy flows through. But then you look at the paper or the screen or whatever you've done, and where is your eye drawn to? What is it that your eye is drawn to? And ask yourself, is this something I can dive into a little bit? This is not something I have to like just sell everything and move to an ashram. That's not what we're talking about. How can I take small steps to investigating what might be involved in that thing I wrote that's catching my eye? Give yourself permission to have the courage to say, what am I doing? I never thought I'd have a podcast. I mean, then it started to niggle for a really long time. It started to niggle. I was like, podcast. What would I even talk about? And then somebody invited me to have a podcast out of nowhere. I didn't go looking for this person, invited me to have a podcast. And immediately I knew what it was going to be called, what it was going to be about. And here we are. Okay. I asked the universe. I didn't even think I was asking the universe, but I was allowing myself to mull the possibility that was written on the page. And that's what they're asking you to do. All right. Quickly. Who needs cards? As long as the weather's holding out, I am happy to stay. And again, if you're joining us, you are not late. I was early. Okay. Cards. Who needs cards? All right. All right, we're going to start with Brenda. Hello, Brenda. Okay, because I believe in promoting and supporting and all of these things, this is Brenda Fisher. She's an amazing artist. I don't know if she has a website or an Etsy store yet, but she's an incredible artist. And also, if you need anything calligraphy done, she's in South Florida and she's incredible. So Brenda spent 25, 30 years as an art teacher teaching AP art and photography, and she is awesome. If you have something you want me to promote for you, I am. So one of my podcast guests actually the woman who is on this week's podcast, Sarah Baldwin, she called me a hype woman, which I love because my other girlfriend, she talks about hype women with her friends too. So if you would like me to be a hype woman for somebody on Monday, somebody who shows up, you just let me know. I'm happy to help. All right, Brenda, this is a card for you. This is flow. Let me see if you can see it. It says flow. If you can see it, flow. It might be backwards. This is flow. And this is, oh, shut up. This is card 21. And you know what 2 and 1 add up to? 3. It means there's more to the story, right? There's more going on than what you have been shown already. And this says, allow the things to come to you. So you follow what I just channeled, and you're going to be in the right place. They're talking about keeping you in the flow, not somebody else's flow, not what somebody else thinks you should be doing. Staying in your own lane, staying in your own flow, and following the things that are bringing you joy, the things that are bringing you excitement, the things that are bringing you passion, those things will bring financial stability. Okay. Give yourself permission to be in the flow and know that there is more to the story because there is more to your story. There is more for you on the table at this very moment than what you have even yet seen. That's what they're talking about. And so allowing. Okay. All right. Who is next? Ellen. Ellen is next. Cute red car. Ellen is next. What does Ellen need to know? This card is Strength, Ellen, and it comes in upside down also. And this is 46. So 46 is 10, which tells us there's a new opportunity, we're closing a chapter, we're getting ready for new. Now this one was upside down, okay? And so this tells us that it's important for you, let me do this so you can see the card. So this tells you that it's important to remember your strengths. When it comes in upside down, you're not standing in your strength. This chick is riding a dragon, okay? She is riding the dragon. The dragon does not seem pissed. They seem to be co-creating here, okay, collaborating. And so when this comes in, Ellen, it's talking about standing in your strength, standing in your power. And you don't have to go find a dragon, just stand in your own power. And sometimes that can be as simple as planting our feet shoulder width apart, rolling those shoulders back, head up, and taking those 3 conscious breaths that we've talked about, right? Tongue on the roof of the mouth, breathing in as deep as we can, hold it, And let the breath fall out. Bring your belly back to your spine. And we do that 3 times. And we clean the body. We re-energize the body. We oxygenate the blood. And we stand in our power. And we create some boundaries. And we say, this is what I want. Okay. And Ellen, they're saying to you, you have all the power and all the strength that you need to claim your space. Just do. Okay. And again, you don't need to go out and stop traffic or put yourself in harm's way or, somebody told me they were running for governor of the state of Florida because they just thought they couldn't do any worse or whatever. And I was like, that's putting yourself out there. You don't have to do that. Just whatever it is that is the place for you to stand in your own strength and know that spirit is going to be behind you, holding you up, supporting you, guiding you, working with you. Okay. All right. Nancy, hello. Cool. A jumper. Nancy has a jumping card. So we're going to grab that. All right. Jumping card is commitment. And this is also card number 10. So this is commitment. And this is the victory card. Okay. So this is, again, the end of the chapter. So for Ellen, that part is over. The part of being, hiding our light is over. It's part, now we're standing up, right? And this is commitment. Okay. And I believe that the cards, even the cards I pull that are individual for you, they all tell the story together. Okay. And so this card is commitment. This card is the victory lap, Nancy. This is I did it. I climbed the mountain. I conquered the dragon. I did the thing and I am proud. And so this card is this reminder. It's not just about making, you have made a commitment, see it through. That's not what this card is about. This card is about committing to ourselves and giving ourselves props for getting there, giving ourselves that victory lap, that pat on the shoulder that is so important that we so often forget to do. That this says, give yourself the permission to be in joy. Give yourself permission to celebrate how far you have already come. Okay. Giving yourself permission for the milestones, giving yourself permission for the baby step wins. This card is all about celebrating your victory lap. And sometimes our victory lap is, I got out of bed and I brushed my teeth. And if your victory lap is, I ran a marathon or whatever it is, this is what we're celebrating. Okay. So they're asking you to give some props and some praise to you. Okay. All right. Who's next? Melissa. Okay. All right. Melissa, I see your comment, Steve, about being late. You're not late. I'm early. I'm early. I'm early. All right, Melissa. Melissa, this card is the light card, light. And this card is 32. So this is 5. So we have the light. We have 32 down here. Okay. So 3 and 2 is 5. And this card is shining a light and saying allow. Okay. This card is about allowing. Okay. And again, everything that was channeled in the beginning, writing it down and allowing these things to come out of you. Allow your truth to be revealed to you. Yes. I'm sorry. They said I needed a different word that wasn't, allow the truth to be revealed to you. Okay. There's so much here about I need to, I'm supposed to, I ought to, I should, all these kind of things. And what they're talking about is we would like for you to allow for some other consciousness to come in. Okay. We would like you to trust us enough that we can bring in some other things to help you see things from a different perspective. Okay. Because that 5, this is 32, the 3 and the 2, that 5, that's a crossroads number. Okay. So there's something else that's going on. This is, we're not taking you off your path, but we'd like to give you some more perspective and to bring some other things into the mix. Okay. So that's for Melissa. Okay. And we have. Okay. Where was I? Sharon. Okay. Excellent. All right. So Sharon, we have simplicity. And this is card 45, 4 and 5. So we just talked about 5 being a crossroads, and 4 we talked about before about the support system. This is simplicity. Okay. Don't make things more complicated. Allow things to, everything's in its right balance. Allow things to go forward as they're going and keep things simple, right? You know that, KISS, keep things simple, sweetie. Okay. So they're just saying, stay in your lane. You don't have to overcomplicate things. So this card is very simple. Okay, they're just asking you to stay in your lane and not take on things that are not yours to carry. Okay. All right. So again, you're not late. I am early. Okay. All right. For Stephen, this is fulfillment. This is the fulfillment card. This is a great card because this is the harvest card. This is you've done all this hard work and now you have this opportunity to bask in the joy of your harvest, right? Because she's harvesting the apples here. So this is 24, 2 and 4. 2 we know is we're walking with spirit, we're walking with co-creation. And 4, we know we have that full support, okay? But we also with 2 are walking with our partner. But this is more than just harvesting apples, okay? This is allowing your creativity to come forward, but there is also a piece of celebrating good job, right? Like the commitment card that we saw just a few cards ago that said, celebrate the wins, right? Celebrate those wins. Allow yourself the victory lap. We don't have to keep it all contained and staid and professional and all this. Allow yourself the victory lap. But there's something more creative here. There's something more creative here because remember, apples have not only the fruit, but the seed of their next generation is in there. So there's something else that's wanting to be rebirthed or birthed, and there's something else that's wanting to be created. So it's not just a harvest card, but there's something about creation here as well. Not Adam and Eve apple kind of creation, but there's something that is about creation that said, I have come this far. Now I can take this to another level. Okay. So this is talking about, I have now this bountiful harvest. What am I going to do from, where am I going from here? Okay. Because the card is also not that 2 and the 4, that's 6, right? 2 and 4 is 6. There's more to be birthed. There's something that's going to come from the harvest more than just a bounty of apples. There's something more that wants to come out of this. I've done this. I've succeeded here. What's next? That's what this card is talking about. All right. All righty. Okay. Brenda says, thank you. You are welcome. Nancy, I think you got in there already. So we're going to let you go. Brenda says, an Etsy store soon. So watch out for her name, Brenda Fisher with a C, SCH. All right. And we've got Maria. Yes, of course. Of course. But she is, I'm corrected, Brie Art on Facebook and Instagram. Brie, like the cheese, art on Facebook and Instagram. And continuing with Brenda, 3 and 4 are her numbers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Maria, we're coming right back to you. You are welcome, Miss Brenda. All right, Maria, a card for you. And okay, it seems like it's still raining. Okay. All right, Miss Maria. So this card is gratitude. So 26, 2 and 6 is 8. You just heard me talking about 6, about something else to be birthed into the world, something else that wants to come forward. 2 is that we are not walking that path alone. We have like the footsteps in the sand, right? We are walking with spirit. We're walking with our co-creators. But this is about gratitude. So Maria, for all the things that are, because this feels like I get a lump in my throat when I'm tapping into this for you. It feels like there are things that I have challenges and things I still have yet to say, things I have not finished. And they're talking about this is gratitude, that if we can shift that energy from burden to blessing, that it changes the whole energy flow for you. Okay. And that this is really about creating this thing that's been stuck for you, is wanting to come out, is wanting this pathway, but we're in this energy of burden versus blessing. And they're really wanting to help shift that energy for you. So my challenge to you and what is being asked of me is, for all those things that feel like a challenge, can you find even a minuscule blessing in them? There are so many things that I didn't understand were blessings until I could look backwards and say, oh, I can see how Z led to X, Y led to X, led to Q, led to, I don't know how the alphabet goes backwards, to C, B, and A. But we can only see it when we're looking in reverse. And very often we have spent so much time and energy going, I think it can, I think it can, I think it can, to go forwards, that we don't give ourselves the time to stop and look back and see, A, how far we've come and celebrate that victory along the way. Good job, you. But B, how all those puzzle pieces, stumbling blocks, roadblocks, and mountains fit together to bring us exactly where we need to be right now. Okay. So Maria, when I feel into this, I feel this lump in my throat. It's like, I have not said my piece. I have not seen all there is to see. And I would like to see this from a different perspective to change that burden into blessing. Okay. So I will leave you with that. All right. Chris Judd, we're doing cards already. Already. Yes, you can have a card. What lesson are you supposed to be learning through all of this knee stuff? Ooh, that is a very good question. And you know what? Sometimes shit just happens. And I'm not saying that's the deal. I'm just saying. And again, you are not late. It is raining. So major thunderstorm. Okay. So what lesson is Chris Judd supposed to be learning through all this knee stuff? And if you were not aware, Chris has been having some knee stuff. Okay. So This is upside down. Well, you asked for it. So this is the card. It says healing. You are supposed to sit your butt down and heal. And I love this because Chris and I go back a very, very long way. This is card 27. Okay. 2, we've talked about a couple of times. 7 is a change in direction. Okay. That means it's new things are coming. But 2 and 7 is 9, which means we're coming to the end of a road. We're coming to the end of a chapter. And one of the things that I have known about Chris for all the years and years and years and years that we have known each other is I love you. You are stubborn and you hate to sit down and be idle. And I know there are a lot of reasons for that, valid reasons, but this card, you asked, what lesson are you supposed to be learning? Now, let me say that this is not, now notice they're dancing. They're dancing, which means they've got good knees. They've also got healed feet. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. This is not just about healing your knee. It is not just about healing your foot. It is about healing many other things right now while you are quite literally sidelined to give yourself the time and the opportunity to dig deep, make that list, and look at some of the other things that you have been avoiding to heal or to allow healing to or allow releasing this in this time. Because remember, the whole solar system just went to have new energy, new thought processes, and new creativity, new things. Give yourself the space and the time, not just for your knee, for your heart, for your head, for your voice, for all the places where there are things that you could be looking at from a different perspective. If you've ever sat down on the floor and looked up at the room, you will see it from a different perspective than if you were standing on a ladder. Give yourself time to heal. And I'm sorry, I have to snicker because we know the cards are eavesdroppers and they have a sense of humor. So when you ask, what am I supposed to be learning from all this stuff going on with a knee replacement gone bad that had to be undone and is going to have to be redone, and the healing card comes up, I can't think of a clearer message for you. So I love you. I know that is not what you wanted to hear. All right. Ellen says, thank you. Michelle says, hello. And Nancy says she has definitely climbed the mountain. And we will have, yes, hello, Kathy. Yes, for sure. It is really icky out there. So, all right, Michelle, we're coming back to you. We've got Michelle, Melissa, you are welcome. Welcome. And yes, Kathy. All right. So we've got Michelle and Kathy and Stephen. And all right, so we're going back to Michelle. All right, card, please. And hopefully Chris Judd still loves me. All right. All right. Michelle, what does Michelle most need to know? Faith. This card is faith. This is the faith card. This is the faith card. So this card is 20. So 2 and 0. This is you are not alone. You are on the path. You are being asked to trust the directions that you are being led. And now look. She's leading from her heart. She's not leading from her head. This is not diving with the head forward. She is head back, heart first. And so this is talking to you, Michelle, about leading from your heart. Leading from your heart. Let go of some rationale, some logic, some should, would, have to, oughta, all that kind of stuff. And give yourself permission to lead from your heart for a minute. Okay. And then with this whole solar system shift that we're talking about writing these things down that are popping up into your mind, they're talking to you about letting your heart lead the way, letting your heart be the thing. You have done all the things in logic order for a long, long time. They're giving you permission to say, you've done all the shoulds. Where's the passion? What is the thing you really would like to see? And start investigating. Now, it's only a number 2, so it's not saying run towards it. They're saying, let's talk about it. Let's investigate it. Let's allow that little apple seed to start to grow. Okay. And again, no pressure. All the pressures that we have that we are putting on ourselves about we're supposed to, or we are oughta do this or do that. Give yourself permission. Okay. Give yourself permission to follow the heart. Okay. All right. So we've got a card for Kathy. Awesome. Let me make sure. All right, we got Steve. All right, we did your card already. Yes, okay. All right, I'm going to put these back in. Give it a good shuffle. We're going to get Kathy going. And okay. Beauty, the beauty card for Kathy. This is card 6. So, okay, this is card 6. So the beauty card reminds us to just take a breath. Okay, but this is number 6. It says there's something else that wants to be created and birthed into the world. But the beauty card reminds us to just take a breath. Okay, just take a breath, enjoy, allow, allow, allow. Big theme today, right? Allow. But this card number 6, it says there is something more that is coming from you, coming with you, coming out of you, that wants to be created, wants to be called into existence. But there's not a pressure on you, okay? So what they're talking about, Kathy, is just breathe and giving yourself permission to allow. Stop, take a look around, smell the roses, proverbial, if you will, but give yourself a permission to take a breath, okay? We don't have to run 90 to nothing. Okay, Stephen, I think we did your card already. Sharon, I think we did yours. Maria, Burden's blessing, you are welcome. And hello, Zanelle. Hello, absolutely. And we'll have a card for you, absolutely. And Chris says there are times when I hate the message Spirit provides, but of course I still love you too. So okay. I know it is not, I know. And remember the pressures that we put on ourselves. Okay. That is another big theme for today, is the pressures that we put on ourselves. Okay. Give yourself permission to just breathe. All right. We're going to go back to Zanelle. And I think we'll almost be done and we will have made it. Yay. All right, so I was trying to get in again before all the storms. All right, what do you need to most know about what's going on? And now this is interesting because this was a healing card again, but this is upside down. So Chris needs to allow healing. And this tells us that perhaps you are not allowing healing to come into your heart, into your space now. And forgive me if I am not pronouncing this correctly, your name. This is about letting go. When this card is upside down, and Chris asked a very specific question about her knee, surgery, recovery, etc. This card comes in upside down, and this is talking about releasing things from your heart. What is it that you are holding on to that no longer serves you, that you don't need to hold on to any longer? And again, this is card 27. So 2, that says you are not walking alone, with Spirit is walking with you. 7, this is a change in direction. And 2 and 7 together come 9, end of the chapter. Coming to the end of the chapter. What can you let go of that you are still holding on to that is holding you back from moving in a place of joy and gratitude? Let go. Now, we don't have to forget those people that had done us wrong, and we don't have to trust them when they come calling again, but we do not have to hold on to anger or whatever the things are. Okay. Some of you have been around long enough to hear me talking about my one of my best friends that I have for my whole life, and I walked away from the relationship. I love her. I love her family. I love her daughters. I love them over there. I want only joy, blessings, love for them. I don't want to have to spend the energy that it takes to have this in my life. So I send them so much love over there. Okay. And so Zanelle, this is what they're talking about for you, is where do you need to put up some boundaries to say, I can release the anger, the hate, the judgment, the frustration, the hurt, the betrayal, all of the things, and say, I'm going to learn from this. I'm not going to make the same mistakes again. And at the same time, I'm going to wish them only love, peace, and blessings. Way the heck over there. Okay. So that's what's coming through for you on that card. All right. I think we've got everybody. All right. I think we've got everybody. So as I'm shuffling the cards for one more card, I always like to do one more card at the end to close it all out and bring our energy all back together again. What do we all need to know? One more thing we need to know to help us get through this moment in time. And this is sanctuary. This is upside down. Also, this is sanctuary. And sanctuary, this is 4 and 3. So we've talked a lot about those numbers. 4, we are supported. There is a lot of support for us. 3, there is more to our story. There is more to our story. And the sanctuary card being upside down reminds us that we are safe. We don't have to fall into the mainstream media, the social media, the algorithms that tell us that we're not, because all that stuff is noise that is loud. But the truth is the rumble of humanity's evolution through the chakras. Underneath that, more people are continuing to say, we need to do something different. We need something more. We are more connected than we are not. We are more alike than we are not. And to remember that we have sanctuary in each other. We are not adversaries. We are sisters and brothers. Okay. The sanctuary is in us. We are the sanctuary. We are the sanctuary for each other. We are the sanctuary for ourselves. We rely on our co-creative, collaborative relationships with source, with spirit, with our loved ones, angels, guides, spirit animals, you name it. We are not alone. We have so much more. We are much safer than we think that we are. Okay? All right. It's really time to let go and focus on my healing. You are so welcome, my friend. Yes, you are 100% right. You are 100% right. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me today. Thank you for forgiving me for hopping on so early today. I wanted to get out in front of the storm. If you came in at the regular time, I'm sorry. Please do go back and watch the beginning of the recording, because lots of good stuff there. Lots of channeled information. The podcast is up. It is available wherever you get your podcast. It's called Beyond the Loss with Sherry Dworkin-Smith. Real conversations about grief and healing. And episode 2 is coming out on Wednesday. So, I am looking forward to all of that. So thank you for all of your well wishes. Thank you for all of your love and support. Thank you for showing up on a rainy day. And I look forward to seeing you next Monday. Always remember how very much you are loved. You are loved. Mwah. We'll see you soon.